So today's video is about morning training, and this is something that I think is relatively unique for CrossFit, when not a lot of people know what it feels like to kind of get up at 5:30 in the morning and start snatching at 6 a.m. So there are specific considerations that we want to kind of think about. So when we're getting up super early, we want to be thinking about what do we eat? Like, should I eat pre-workout? Should I not eat pre-workout? And we always get this question, and look, it is this silly nutritionist answer of finding what works for you. However, pre-workout nutrition is something that we often think about of that morning. So what to eat pre-workout, whereas actually for morning training, the pre-workout nutrition can actually be the day before. So it could be the evening meal or the whole daily intake the day before you're going to train, because you don't have that much of an opportunity in that morning to fuel for that session. So you've got to be thinking about what's your intake the day before, and we see this a lot with people that come off of a rest day or don't eat enough the day before. They come in the next day and they feel sluggish, they feel that they're just getting through because they haven't eaten enough before your workout. The day before, because if you're training in the evening, you have an opportunity to fuel over that day. So even if the day before wasn't that good or you underate, you have opportunities to fuel that session. With morning training, pre-workout does become important the day before. If you're going to train in the morning, and maybe you're doing something that's relatively intense, maybe it's a benchmark workout, maybe it's some Olympic lifting, then we do find that actually using something maybe liquid based. So if you take a recovery shake, something like maybe a 2 or 3 to 1 carbohydrate to protein ratio, so it's got maybe some carb powders in there. This if you can maybe take some of it, maybe half of it, or a smaller scoop pre-workout instead of waiting post-workout to take it, this will just provide you with a little bit of energy. And we find that this works really, really well for like strength-based workouts, strict gymnastics, anything with a WOD, which maybe kind of a bit more strength-based. And then when we're thinking about more endurance-based or maybe kind of a little bit more like aerobic, we can find that actually people feel okay training fasted. Training fasted, again, pre-workout is absolutely fine, even if you're doing strength training, because we still want to be thinking about the distribution over the whole day. This is the most important thing. So don't worry about pre and post-workout, intra-workout nutrition. You need to be focusing on nailing your overall daily intake first, and then you can start to kind of think about right, I'm going to trial eating something pre-workout. I'm going to take maybe a shake or half a shake or whatever it is. Maybe you can even have some fruit juice and some dried fruit. Whatever it is, something that's going to be easy to digest. And then just let me know, or let us be aware of how you're getting on with that. If you train fasted, your post-workout nutrition becomes more important. So if there's no pre-workout, post-workout becomes more important. If you've taken something in pre-workout, your body is already kind of in that recovery process because it's got circulating nutrients. But post-workout nutrition, again, it is something that's important because we come off of an overnight fast. Even if we've eaten something small, we still haven't got a lot of kind of circulating fuel or building blocks to help us repair. So I don't need you to be chugging a shake or smashing your overnight oats within 10 seconds of dropping the barbell, but be thinking about having something within at least 45 minutes, maybe an hour's time. So pushing that breakfast back, is absolutely fine. But you've got to be thinking about, if you're feeling that you've got low morning energy, or if you're feeling sluggish, then maybe you want to be thinking about focusing on your post-workout nutrition a little bit more effectively to just kickstart that recovery process a little bit sooner. So these kind of go hand in hand. Like, if you're feeling low on energy and every single time that you're having to kind of really kind of motivate yourself to get up, then you've got to be thinking about meal distribution over the day. Are you eating enough? And if not, maybe thinking about adding a bit more in pre-workout or making sure that you focus on your post-workout nutrition. So I hope that kind of makes sense, and in this video I want you to be thinking about, like, you know, being aware of like how you feel in certain sessions. Now, another thing is that people can often feel, depending on it, especially if you do deadlifts or squatting, you can feel ravenous for the rest of the day. And again, this comes down to meal distribution. So, you know, have a good baseline. What we work on is having a baseline intake, but being a little bit flexible in terms of listening to your body. So, for example, if you did a really heavy strength session, then you might feel that you need, and you're going to train the next day, you might feel that you need a little bit more food. That's absolutely fine. You've just got to factor it in and be aware of how that makes you feel. So hunger over the day is something that we do see, and you need to identify, is this a common thing? Is this happening every single day? Or is it just at certain times of the week or after certain sessions? Now, if it's happening every single day and, you know, you're really hungry and it's leading you to maybe binge at weekends or overeating at certain times, then you probably need to increase your overall intake. Or try eating something pre-workout, distributing your calories a little bit better, or eating a little bit more post-workout. So refueling a little bit more post-workout can sometimes help to manage hunger over the rest of the day. The last thing I'm going to talk about is intermittent fasting. Now, if you follow me on my emails, my newsletter, or some of the posts, I like fasting. I do it myself a few days a week. I just don't think it works well when people do CrossFit or training in the morning. So if you train, you know, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, whatever, and then you don't eat till 1 p.m, 12 p.m, what we find is that just doesn't work for, you know, for helping you to perform well, to improve your performance, body composition, because it just places a little bit too much stress on the body. Like if you're training in the evening, then intermittent fasting in the morning works absolutely fine. Also stopping eating at 4 p.m, so you get that 16 hours before you eat again, just doesn't seem to work for a lot of clients. So when you're fasting, if you're training in the morning, I would say to only really do it on rest days. This is just something that we find from a lot of client feedback, from myself as well. So this is just something to be aware of. If you are doing intermittent fasting and training in the morning and you are hungry over the rest of the day, your performance isn't improving, you feel stressed, you've got low morning energy, maybe it's something that you need to look at and only do it at specific points of the week. Hope this helps. What I want you to do is kind of think about maybe 1 or 2 areas that you can kind of focus on. So don't try and change everything. Just think, do I have low morning energy? Are there certain days of the week that I feel kind of low? Do I need to be thinking about post-workout nutrition, pre-workout? Can I trial something? And just be aware of how that makes you feel. So pop any comments in below. Let us know if you've got any further questions, and then just go crush that morning session.